Navigating retirement planning requires adaptability and foresight. Major life events, be it marriage, career changes, or the gradual transition into retirement, each demand a unique strategy to maintain financial stability. Deciding when to retire, known as the long goodbye, or adapting to career shifts, can impact your retirement approach significantly. It's important to recognize where you can advance and avoiding phases that hinder your financial journey. Resilience is key. Embracing change, whether entering retirement or undergoing personal transitions, requires flexibility. Retirement planning isn't just about savings. It's about adjusting your mindset to new life stages. From early savings to navigating post-retirement, understanding and preparing for each phase is essential. Life will throw curveballs that impact your retirement plans. Inheritances, career changes, or unexpected financial gains or losses all necessitate reevaluation of your strategy. Preparing for both predictable and unforeseen changes is vital. Effective retirement planning will likely require emotional, psychological, and financial readiness. Mary Beth, how do you approach this? I mean, there's the question of how much money do I need in retirement? So there's the financial side. But then how do you help clients to visualize like some of the non-financial aspects of retirement, like lifestyle, hobbies, and other things?
Yeah, I love what the transition just said there in terms of the emotional and psychological components of planning for this. And that's where it really hits. And so getting clients, sometimes people are come in so anxious and concerned about money and really stuck on this number and when can I quit? I want to be done. But getting people to connect and really visualize, the journey of their lives. And so I tend to work with those that are in their 30s, 40s, heading into their 50s. And there's a lot of life that happens in there. And so the ability to buckle up and be flexible is really important. And being as an advisor, I'm that sounding board that basically it's not, you're not giving permission, but you want them to know it's going to be okay. It's okay. Hey, if you do need to relocate, as we just talked about earlier, and you need to cut back on those retirement savings right now, here's the plan to get you back on track. Or, hey, you're through these major life transitions. Now's the time to really ramp up and not do the lifestyle creep, but to set more aside because who knows what's coming around the corner. And so really approaching it with flexibility is important, but making sure you're balancing it and prioritizing it. So no matter what, the earlier you start, the better when it comes to retirement. If we talked about getting our kids financially savvy for education, but getting them started as soon as possible in terms of setting aside for their retirement, fantastic. That sets them up in the long term. But starting with something small, compound interest along the way. But the flexibility is really important, and spending time visualizing what's coming. When you're living just day to day or year to year, it's hard to pivot, but planning in advance. Emergency fund is funded, right? But let's say an emergency happens, it's down to zero. You've used the funds. Well, you're likely going to cut back on retirement savings to replenish that account. And that's okay. That's just part of life. That's a hurdle. You're on the roller coaster. Be okay with that. We're here to kind of give peace of mind, and then you'll work to refund it, and then you'll turn back to retirement savings, or you'll make adjustments along the way and do both. But I think being the flexibility is really important, and that's that resiliency, that psychological, that emotional component. There's no end to this game of money, right? Money is with us through our lives, and that is the most important takeaway of all of this: is you can't check the box. There's no box check here, unfortunately.
Stephanie, how about you? Like, what role does emotional intelligence have in retirement planning?
Oh, I think it's huge. And, in your intro video, you talked about a mindset change. And I think one area that we all need a mindset change in as a society is this tagging retirement to age 65, or some people age 67 because they've figured out Social Security is now age 67. Is that really realistic if a lot of us are going to live to be in our 90s? So I have conversations with people about, okay, maybe it's not about hanging it up at 65. Is there a way you can continue to earn some income in some way or other, right? Doing part-time, switching, working at a little shop in your town, whatever it might be. Every dollar that you bring in to the household after quote unquote retirement is a dollar of your own you're not spending. So it just helps the longevity of your actual financial plan. So I think that's one of the things. I mean, most of the clients I talk to, they don't want to, become unengaged. They want to still be relevant and connected and making an impact after maybe they hang up their full-time job. So tying that to, is there a way you can continue to earn something? It makes a huge difference.
Yeah, purpose plays a huge role. Joe, you talk to a lot of people. Do you see any creative ways of generating income in retirement that you've seen talking to different experts or from your audience?
I think just changing the concept of retirement altogether makes sense to me, because speaking of one of those people, Wes Moss, who had the book, What the Happiest Retirees Know, the average very happy retiree has over 4 critical things that they love to do outside of their job. Now, some of those 4 may involve making money. In fact, I did see a study just a couple days ago, makes sense when you think about the 4% rule, that that a $30,000 a year income replaces $750,000 of assets for that year. I mean, that's a powerful thing if you keep making money. But I see people keep working too long in things that they don't love, and that's not really what retirement is all about. So there's this teeter-totter. And it's funny because we talk to money nerds so much that I think with what Mary Beth said and Stephanie talked about with the emotional component and making sure that's there, I think we're speaking directly to money nerds there, because money nerds think it is all about the number. But I think the wider universe, I had this aha just this last week, actually, the wider universe does exactly the opposite. All they're dreaming about is leaving this place, right? Don't think about the money at all. And so if you don't think about the money at all, you're in trouble. But then you become a money nerd and you just focus completely on the dollar, and you're still in trouble because you show up at retirement and you don't have those 4 things. By the way, the average retiree has 2 things they love to do outside of work. And Wes points out through all these studies that he's done with retirees that you need at least 4. The cool thing is you get 2 4. One of those probably might involve making some money, but probably gives you a lifetime of entertainment and value.
We talk about making work optional a lot, right? That's this idea of retirement is really just work optionality, and then having that freedom. And then same goes back to the purpose. Where are you going to spend your time? A lot of people don't imagine quitting work together, having some sort of purpose, but optional to leave the job that you despise.
I love the flexibility.
I just talked to a guy who, for our real estate podcast, at 25 years old, he got this mentor in his 40s who helped him buy his first rental property, talking about how you want to retire as soon as you can. You want to make this, you want to be able to do whatever you want to do. So he buys this rental property. Within a couple of weeks of buying the first property, the mentor passes away in this unfortunate job site accident. And then he realizes that nothing is written in stone and that I have to retire even faster. So here's a guy at 25 years old who's on this mission to retire. He gets to 28 years old, maybe 29, and he has this complete nervous breakdown, goes to his doctor's office. Doctor says, there's nothing wrong with you physically. This is completely mental. He's living this hustle culture, but it's because he's so worried about this, getting off the treadmill. He's so worried about getting off the treadmill that he's on it more than ever before. And what's funny is during that time, he had a guy that told him, you can have $1 million, or you can grow your net worth to 2 million and give it away, and you still have $1 million, and you're going to feel so much more fulfilled being a part of a greater community and a greater, I guess community is it. You're going to feel so much better. He started then giving away $10 of each of his pieces of real estate. Whenever he bring in a renter, he would give $10 away. And what's funny is I'm talking to this guy, he's only in his early 30s now, and the concept of retirement is completely gone. It is complete. He doesn't care if he ever retires. He's like, this is so amazing. It's so incredible giving to other people and being a part of this thing. And I think for a lot of people, especially in the FIRE movement, just this idea of getting out, getting away from something, like running away from it, is so overblown. I think we seriously got to start latching on to what are those 4 things that I'm really passionate about outside of my job.
Thank you. Let's bring it home with our final segment.